Looky here. Stephanie finally brings his own guns to the range. About time. Yeah, buddy. Whoa. How in the world are you hitting steel? You couldn't hit anything with the Wilson Combat, the FN 509, the Sig Legion, even a Mossberg shotgun you couldn't hit any targets. Well, that's because High Point makes a superior firearm. High Point for life! So after I finished the review on the Wilson Combat EDC X9, I said to myself, how in the world am I going to top this? What am I going to do next that's better than an EDC X9? I couldn't figure out what to do. Thinking, and then it came to me. The Glock Forte, the Problem Solver, the C-Hundo, the Yeet Canon, the Saturday Night Special. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have the High Point C9 hydro dipped in those dollar bills. Oh yeah. Two quick things before we start the review and I dive up close. One, big thanks to my buddy Dave. He's the gangster who owns this pistol. He lent it to the channel. Thank you very, very much, Dave. Second, I know High Point's reputation. I get it. The gangster connection, the ugliness, the pistol is not the prettiest and most refined gun out there. The price, you can get these used for $100, brand new for like $150, at least the black version of these. So I get all of that. But let's keep in mind, the people who live in the worst neighborhoods are statistically more likely to need a firearm than people who live in nicer neighborhoods. And at the same time, most of those people are strapped financially. They can't go out and spend $700, $800 on an H&K or whatever your favorite pistol is. So in my opinion, I would rather see them have a High Point over nothing if literally all they can afford is a High Point. If someone is considering getting a High Point, I highly recommend you save up that extra $100, $150 and get yourself a used M&P or a Canon or a police trading Glock. But if all you can afford is the High Point, then grab it. It's better than nothing. For those who don't know, I grew up pretty poor. I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, in a pretty crappy neighborhood called Silver Lake. And I remember several times someone broke into a house and broke into our car, and we had other times people were trespassing and fighting in our yard. And I remember very clearly, even as a little kid, my dad standing at the top of the stairs with our German Shepherd, his Dirty Harry revolver, and his ginormous Maglite. And they were there ready to defend us and ready to keep us safe. And I remember as a little kid, so clear how safe that made me feel knowing that they were there. And it didn't matter whether it was his badass Dirty Harry revolver or a Smith & Wesson or a High Point. It didn't matter. The point was that he was there to protect us and keep us safe. And that's what it's all about to me, defending yourself, keeping your family safe, and that's how I feel about it. But what do you think? If literally all you could afford is a High Point, would you get one or would you go without? Anyway, let's dive up close. I got a couple quick features to go over on this pistol, and then I want to roll in the range footage because I got some interesting range footage for you guys. As always, let's start at the bottom and work our way forward. Magazines. They are metal magazines. Comes with one 8-round magazine, and it's decent quality. I ran the snot out of this magazine, and I had absolutely zero issues, zero problems. You can get a 10-round extendo magazine, as they call it, and this one I had nothing but problems. The rounds were nosediving in the front of the magazine, and it was causing the slide to lock to the rear because the gun thought the magazine was empty. I have seen other people have similar problems. But with that said, the 8-round magazine was absolutely flawless with zero malfunctions over about 250 rounds. The gun does have a magazine disconnect, so if there's no magazine in the gun, it's not going to run. I hate that, but it is what it is. Moving up to the grip design feels really good. It's a good shape. With that said, it is super slick. Even the other versions of this gun, it's available in black camo and pink camo. They are all very slick. So today, when I went to the range, it was dry. It wasn't bad. Other days, if your hands are wet at all, it's going to be very hard to get a good purchase on this pistol. The front strap has some light horizontal checkering, and the same with the back. Not enough to get a perfect grip, but enough to get a decent grip. Moving up to the trigger. The trigger is It's hot garbage. That's about the only way I can describe it. It does its job. It makes a gun go bang every single time, but it's hinged here on the top. And there is no way to pull the trigger back without pulling it down. And that makes it extremely difficult to pull the trigger properly without moving the gun. I have a magazine disconnect. Okay, magazine's in. And let me see if I can show you. Like it goes, it's hard. Oh, take the magazine out. Whack the slide. It's hard to show on camera, but there's really no good way to pull it without pulling it down. And then the reset, it's not tactile or audible, so you don't really know where it is. And there was so many times in the beginning I kind of short stroked the trigger, and then I finally just let it all the way out before I pulled it again. So the trigger is not great. On this side, the mag release is okay. I can't quite reach it without readjusting my grip, but it does shoot the magazine out every single time on this particular high point, so no complaints there. The safety is functional. It's not the best safety. It's not tactile. It's not really audible, but it does its job. It stops the gun from firing. I did test it. If you're going to carry this gun, I would carry it absolutely with the safety on, and I would absolutely practice a lot because it's not the easiest safety to turn off. It's pretty small. Using it as a slide stop, it's not great, but it's functional. You have to pull the slide to the rear, and this cutout here is where the slide stop works. So it's kind of hard to do, but there you go. And it takes a lot of effort to do that. So if someone doesn't have the strongest hands, that may be difficult for some people to do. You're definitely not using this as a slide release at all. You really need to pull back, come over the top of the slide and pull back to get the gun and battery. But it will work as a slide stop. Speaking of the slide is very, very slick. Even these serrations on the back here, they're pretty tough to get a hold of. Loading the gun, as you'll see when we roll in the range footage, can be a little tough. And if your hands are sweaty, muddy, bloody, forget about it. You're not going to be able to easily load this gun. It's not going to be that easy. The slide also is big, it's heavy, it rides very, very low. If you have a thumbs forward grip, as you see here, you're going to be feeling the slide move as you shoot, which is strange. I actually slowed the slide down a few times while I was shooting as well by having such a high thumbs forward grip, and I got some slide bites. You know, I have a cut here on my thumb that wouldn't stop bleeding today at the range, and I have another little cut here, both from the slide. So you need to be a little extra cautious with the slide. The best thing about the slide, I think, is the $100 bills hydro dipped. I think it's quite a sexy pattern. The sights are decent, I guess. There, you know, you have your rear sights are these bright red 2 dots, and then the front is a yellow. With my eyes, I picked up the red much easier than the yellow, so I was kind of focusing on the rear sight, and obviously you're not supposed to. You're supposed to focus on the front sight. And I did find these sights a little bit difficult to line up. The rear sight is adjustable for windage and elevation. The front sight is built into the gun, so it's not replaceable. The new version of this, the Yeet Canon, does take Glock sights. You can replace it, so that's yay for that. The barrel on the gun is a 3.5-inch fixed barrel, so it does not come out. That does lend it to be pretty accurate, as long as you can do your job with the trigger and the sights, which aren't great. With that said, I was able to get some really, really good groups. As far as your dimension, it is the same height and the same length as a Glock 19. It is obviously wider and heavier than a Glock 19 with this really big slide. These guns are a very simple blowback design. That's why it has a fixed barrel, and that's why it has a pretty large slide. For it to run reliably as a blowback design, it needs to have some good size mass to it. A couple pros, this is actually made in the US, which is great, and it has a lifetime warranty. High Point's warranty is known for being one of the best warranties in the gun industry. There's stories of people, you know, running over their gun and smashing it and breaking it and all sorts of stuff, and High Point always seems to take care of it. But that's it. That's the basic features of the gun. Let's roll in some of the interesting range footage so you can see me bleeding all over myself and some of the distance shooting that we did. I am about to run the first mag through this Hundo C9 high point. Keep in mind the last 3 guns that I've shot is the Wilson Combat EDC X9, the FN509 Tactical with the Apex trigger, and the SIG Legion. So I've shot some really nice pistols, and I don't know how that's going to affect my feelings on this, but we got the Extendo, and let's go. Oh, okay. Wow, I shot that really, really low. Let me run another mag through it. Ooh, ow. That was a lot better. I'll show you the group in a second. Because the slide is so big and it sticks down so far, that corner is rubbing on my knuckle and it kind of hurts like hell. It was exactly what I expected though. The trigger is hinged and it forces you to pull down very, very easily. But it went bang every time, and that's what matters. So these down here were my first couple shots, and I didn't change my hold. I just kind of got used to the trigger. And the ones up here, those are my second 5 shots. So first couple shots were bad, then it was fine. The slide is rough. Oh, it looks like a failure to feed. I don't know if I was... No, I couldn't have been on the slide stop. I don't know. It locked to the rear for some reason. I don't know. Come on, there you go. Let's try to be a little bit more smooth with this trigger. Running gun with the high point? Why not? If I can load it. Come on. Ah, there we go. We're gonna do our normal distance shooting, but our steel target here is covered with dirt and wood, and you can't hear when the shots hit it for some reason. So I've been whacking at it for 10 minutes and it's not coming off. So we'll make the best of it. We're gonna start at 15 yards because this isn't the easiest gun to shoot. They are hits. I can see it hitting the steel target, but you can't hear it with all that crap on it. So it's gonna be hard as we back up, but we're at 25 yards now. Heard all of those good. 5 for 5 at 25. I'm happy. Let's stop now. Plus I'm putting in this Extendo magazine, and this is the one that keeps on having those failure to feed issues. So we'll see. I was afraid to go back to 50, so we're at 40. It was either 3 for 5 or 4 for 5, which I guess is pretty good. Let's go 60. The high point cut me. It cut me good. Not only am I bleeding on my middle finger, I'm also bleeding on this knuckle. The slide is kind of rough and there's a lot of sharp corners. I think this one was from the safety slide release, and I don't know what that one's from. Maybe from the bottom of the slide. I don't know, but Band-Aid time. now that our boo-boos are taped up, let's continue shooting at about 50 yards. Four for 5 with the high point at 50 yards. Let's just do 75 for shits and giggles. I know I'm not gonna hit the target. 75 yards. Now, as long as you do your job, the gun is definitely accurate. It's not easy with the sights and the trigger, but we got a couple hits at 75 yards. I don't even want to do the last mag dump, but it's becoming a tradition, so I'll suck it up for you. Okay, ready? That was kind of fun. We are back from the range. As far as pros, guys, this is made in America. It is super affordable, and it is pretty reliable. I had 0 malfunctions with the 8-round magazines and a couple little hiccups with the 10 rounds. As far as cons, it's big, it's ugly, and it's very rough around the edges. Again, it's only a $100 pistol, so keep your expectations pretty low. It went bang every time, and that's all I expected. This gun makes sense for anyone who is obviously very, very short on cash. Somebody who wants to use it as a tackle box gun, maybe a glove box gun, anything like that kind of makes sense. If you can save up the extra $100, $150 and get yourself a Ruger or a Canon or an M&P or a police trade-in, do so. But I would rather see someone with a high point, with a bunch of ammo and a bunch of training than any of the previously mentioned guns with no ammo and no training. Finally, I highly encourage people to stop alienating people within the gun community, especially on social media, guys. Doesn't matter whether someone carries a high point or a Springfield Armory or an Urban Carry holster or whatever brand that gets teased all the time. Stop making fun of those people and alienating them. We need them on our side to fight the anti-gun agenda if we want to be successful. Educate them, teach them without belittling them, and don't act like an elitist, because we need them on our side. Anyway, thank you very, very much for watching my videos. As always, it is truly appreciated. Do me those 2 quick favors, please. 1, click the like button. 2, click subscribe. This way you get notified when we come out with new videos. I will see y'all next time. Peace! Shit cut me. Shit cut me good.